We came here last year. I visited Pitt-Rivers Museum, and I realized that there are some Maasai artifacts. And when I saw them the first time, they are just as fresh as I was, because they connect the living people, the ancestors, and they are part and parcel of our living culture. And I had a feedback with the elders, the traditional leaders from Maasai community, women and men, about telling part of our culture is in Oxford.
Now what in another thing? Pinjo hiki asishori. Nayai. Miki yulon to nawa.
Hiki yisi niki pote segunoto asuja kuna tokitin nang. Niki yolo oltung'ani owa kanyoo pee ewaita orkuo lang naikimba. Ekimba oduo. Na iki nikisuja ajo kanyoo naawa kaji kunaiti.
Tamayana orkuwa tamayana.
We are here on a mission to understand the miracle, how the British colonial administrators, the researchers, the explorers collected all these things from our community. And after 100 years, the objects are uniting us together. And this is the sense of culture does not die. It is there to prevail.
It's a very important moment, I
Yes.
think, when new additions are being made to the
Yes.
museum, which are in a partnership and very conscious
exactly.
donation also to the museum.
Yes. We are here to try to improve the narratives of objects from Maasai community, because our artifacts in the museum are represented as a dead part of the culture, but our culture will never die. This is why we saw the importance of engaging the museum directly, but also we trying to see how are we going to feature a partnership which will also help other indigenous communities to learn from what we are doing here to improve it in different museums around the world.
This ceremonial address.
It says, face ring of hide and feathers captured from the Maasai after a fight.
They cannot put it on when they are going for a fight. That is one of the things that we know.
It's for ceremonial occasion.
Exactly, for ceremonial occasions. One should never even given out to somebody else. This is for the mother of the girl.
This is only...
It's an honor. Yeah.
So it's this object that makes that connection.
Yeah, to make a connection between the two families.
It's a very personal...
It is
very personal. It's almost like you're all in.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like part of the body.
Yeah.
We could not imagine the situation or the circumstances under which these things could be taken. Why do you have an engagement department in the museum where most of the things are kept and people have to appreciate on their own? Because you come and see, and this is why we are struggling to improve the narratives of objects, so that people can be easy to connect with exactly what is there. And we are trying to ensure that we remove the intermediation of talking about the Maasai, and at least the object can describe ourselves from the narratives from the people. maps are developed and permanent marks are put, and while our livelihood is too dynamic, so you say this is a dry season grazing land for this year. Next year it rains here and doesn't rain here, so it doesn't need to put permanent marks here because our livelihood is too dynamic. It has to follow the nature, the call of the nature and the organization of the nature for that case.
Welcome to 42 Acres.
Firstly, we have a team, PV team now in Tanzania already trained and are in place and they have the equipment. So we propose that we also undertake training on the other side of the border to have a Kenyan PV team. And the other thing is on the Tanzanian side, we first have to meet with the national and regional leaders and district leaders. The videos from the local meetings, they are kind of synthesized so that during the Pan-Maasai meeting, we will be able to make a Pan-Maasai video on the living Maasai culture and living Maasai culture strategies. The video will focus on what challenges is the Maasai culture facing right now. Okay, and what changes have taken place, and particularly those negative changes which have taken place in the Maasai cultural system, and what can we do now in order to protect the culture from negative changes.
Creating an independent Maasai media center to counter the fake news and foster the Maasai culture by establishing Oltolo Lema Media Center. So the messages coming out of the media center have to be protection, celebrating and fostering culture and Maasai and the environment all together.
I think it's just a start, but it's a very powerful. It's been a very powerful and important start.
People are busy reclaiming, but in the Maasai case, we are really busy protecting. Participatory video will be the heart of our design, and it will be the approach to engage. From the time we started with InsightShare, this is where we've been able to come to this far. It is only the video, the people, the voices, they're very strong and appealing, and people speak on their own, and it is inviting people to come together. And so I think this is the center.
Samuel was saying we're a living culture, and we also want to be involved in the self-representation. We want to talk about how we want to be represented. And so he then wrote this message, which I thought was just really very ambitious on the one hand, but also very appealing, saying, I'm imagining a partnership piloted between your museum and the Maasai indigenous communities to figure around the inclusion of living culture in the bigger framework of museums. This will accommodate thousands of indigenous peoples around the world and will provide a benchmark for a healing process for the so much damaged hearts, knowledges and cultures of these isolated, marginalized, yet important groups in our planet. So that was really sort of very ambitious, but also very aspirational, and something that we that felt very close to our strategic plan.
Ni ne uyo ga den nyame ngore sidai la na rubin da na kesse ba beti ta na messe ba.
She says the video technology is a very powerful thing because it connects people from one continent to another, one culture to another. When I go back, I will continue taking video on the Maasai culture, various aspects of the Maasai culture. And one other very important activity I'm going to do, to train a team from Kenya so that they are also able to use the technology.
Tamayana, Orgua, Tamayana, Tamayana, Orgua, Tamayana, Tamayana, Orgua, Tamayana, Tamayana, Orgua, Tamayana.
Make sure you don't leave.